10 a.m. to whenever this is done. So sometimes 11. We rarely go farly past 11. If there's a guest, we probably go past 11. Like we went past 11 with John. As you know, if you want to be a part of this show, as Coach Alex is today, you head over to Gmail at the John Browner Podcast at gmail.com. This little lovely thing right here, the John Browner Podcast at gmail.com. That will get you to speak to me on more of a long form. And I can respond to you in a long form, but I probably won't because that's not really how I get down. But I will respond to you. I will 100% respond to you. And in addition to that, help the show continue to grow. If you are watching the show on YouTube, I appreciate you. Help the march to 300. If you're new, subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the John Browner Podcast via YouTube. Now, also, if you are watching the show via X, I would appreciate it if you would give the show a retweet so we can continue to grow our demographics and reach a larger audience via the Sporting Tribune on X, the John Browner Podcast on X. If you are watching again on X, retweet that bad boy. Let's talk some sports all around. Shout out to all my people at the Sporting Tribune. I'm a part of the group now. I'm part of the team. We're growing. It's growing, and we're going to continue to try to bring you different versions of sports. I'm sitting down with Araj to kind of hash out more going forward. So we'll have some news for you guys coming soon. And always until that happens, head over to the John Browner Podcast shop, buy something. Buy a t-shirt, buy a JBP. I might start putting together the Chat Pack shirts. Y'all want some Chat Pack shirts? I guess you may ask, what the hell is a Chat Pack? You are. Shout out to Tito. Shout out to Coach Alex in the chat. Shout out to Juliana. Shout out to David P. We the Chat Pack. So I guess that's what we're calling it. We're calling it the Chat Pack. It has been, I need to get the hammer. I need to get the gavel. The Chat Pack is locked in. It is what it is now, people. The Chat Pack. Let me stop. I'm looking for something real quick, too. The Chat Pack, people. What's going on a Friday? Let's talk about why we came. I told y'all we got three things. We got three really interesting topics on the show. And because we got Coach Alex coming on in a couple of minutes, let's get to what we came to get to. I'm going to talk about Is Wemby Dirty? That's going to be a short segment on a Friday. I'm going to talk about the Padres and their new series that they got coming up. I think the game today starts at 4. I think it starts at 4 against Baltimore in Baltimore. But before we do any of that, let's talk some soccer. What up, Coach? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm out here, baby. I'm out here. Listen, I don't know nothing, so I invited on the person who knows something. Again, I am hosting a event for the World Cup, the elimination rounds in Liberty Station. If the address changes, I'll let you know. But I saw Mexico versus who yesterday?
South Africa.
I saw Mexico versus South Africa. I saw a watch party in Mission Beach, I think it was. And holy hell. Packed. So I may actually venture outside my home to watch today's game. So you might see me out and about. But before we get to any of that, let's talk about this team. Because we haven't talked to Coach Alex since last time we saw him. And that was in SDFC. We had thought we had started something special. We had you on, started winning. We broke the losing streak. And now, I don't know, they back in the abyss, man. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Dude, that was crazy. I don't know if you remember, but you asked me for a prediction, right?
Yeah.
And I said we were gonna concede first. We conceded first. I said it was gonna be a shootout. And then I was like, we're gonna come out on top though, 3-2 with the win. And we scored the late goal in like the second minute of stoppage time. And I was there with my wife and my boys, and the place was electric. And I'm like, oh my gosh, am I Nostradamus? Like, this is happening right now. And then everybody's cheering, and then bing, bang, long ball, tying goal within 20 seconds of the kickoff. And it just deflated us, man. We walked out of there, it felt like a loss, man. It was brutal. But a point's a point. We'll take it. But yeah, I thought we started something. We were rolling.
I know, right? I thought we was going to put together something real.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so talk about this roster because I saw the roster. I wanted to have you on when the roster came out, but then a bunch of other stuff happened, and so it just didn't fit the schedule. But today you're here, and they haven't played a game. So talking about the roster, let's talk about the goalie. Let's talk about some of the strategy that they may have coming for us. Help people like me who are watching this, who may not necessarily be that knee deep into soccer, become educated on what they're about to see tonight. First of all, who we playing?
We are playing Paraguay. You got to say it
What
like
is
that. If
that?
you're Paraguay is how
Okay.
you're going to hear it. But, if you want to be, you want to say it correctly, Paraguay. All
Okay.
right. So, South American country. First off, I think it's a little frustrating to hear about the roster leak. I thought I was such a disservice to some of these guys who, had a dream and were hoping to make that roster. And for that roster to leak 2 days before it was supposed to, now that's brutal, man. Like, how would you want to hear it if you didn't make a roster 2 days before on social media, or you want to hear it like the day of from your coach? And so the coach kind of touched on that. He was a little bit irritated by that, by the press, but I mean, how did it get out? So that's another story. Um, I think the biggest thing here is
But who?
we ha-
Who didn't make the roster that you thought should have made the roster?
there's one guy that I'm going to focus on. His name's Diego Luna. You may have seen him.
I've
He's
heard of him
he's
before.
all yeah. He's a Hispanic dude. He's all tatted up. Kind of shorter guy. Doesn't look like maybe your typical soccer player, but that guy's been a part of the qualifying games and international friendlies for basically the last 4 years, and he scored a couple big goals in some games. He plays in the midfield, and he's a playmaker, and you kind of know what you're going to get from him. And I think a lot of the U.S. soccer world was a little shocked that he didn't make it. Um, but again, you got the best of the best here, so is what it is. But hey, shout out to Diego Luna. He ran into a kid at the airport right after the roster came out, and this little kid, I guess he spoke to this kid for like 15 minutes about like what it takes, putting in the extra work, took a picture with them, and so class act on his part.
So when you say the roster, because I didn't know that the roster came out before it was supposed to. Is this a normal thing? Is it something because this is now such a big event because it's the World Cup, the roster would slip out? Because we live in a be first society. You ain't necessarily got to be correct. Just be first. And so there's no telling how somebody got their hands on it. This could have been photocopied. This could have been seen from. This could have been stolen. So when something like this happens, I would think that this is normal.
I don't think we were shocked about it, right? I mean, it's
All
like,
right, yeah.
how are you going to put a date on something like that? It's going to get out, whether it's the equipment guy or the boot guy or like whoever.
Whoever.
They see it and they snap a picture of it and they're like, "Yo, I just saw the roster, man. Like, what should I do with it?" That's just how it is. And I guess we expect that, but like I said, it's just you got to feel for those guys that had a high hope and then to kind of find out that way.
So let's talk about the actual roster that we have. How are we built? Because all I see is people talk about Christian Pulisic, Christian Pulisic, Christian Pulisic. But I think if I'm not mistaken, this is like the 6th year I've heard this kid's name or this man's name, and nothing really come from it. Am I misunderstanding something?
I mean, they call him Captain America for a reason. He was kind of the poster child in the face of American soccer as we kind of moved into the 2000 and what was it, 14 World Cup, or he was just kind of like he was going to be the face of it. He was going to be the new up and coming guy that was going to get us where we want to go, and he has to a certain extent. But he is a little bit older now, and we got some solid players on this roster. I mean, you have a lot of American players playing overseas for big clubs. I mean,
But these
PSV
are real Americans,
Eindhoven.
right?
These are real
These are not
Americans,
these are
yeah.
not like hired guns who
Dual
got their paperwork.
citizenship,
Yeah. This ain't that, is it?
right? To my knowledge, yes. Okay. You never really know until you really kind of dig into it. But to my knowledge, yes. So yeah, we got big names. I think the number one guy on this team is a guy named Folarin Balogun. They call him Flo, which I love. I'm
Okay.
like, Flo, let's go, dude. And he plays for AS Monaco. He is a goal scorer, and I think between him and Pulisic on top, I think between them, we're going to need them to make plays, draw attention, draw pressure, and allow the players around them to make plays. Like, be selfish when you have the opportunities, but you are going to be a target. And if you can draw that pressure and then dish it, I think you're gonna have a lot more success than trying to be the hero.
So the way that this team is constructed, I know that there was some gripe around the manager being fired or multiple times. Like the little that I did follow, it wasn't good. So now that you've got this team put together with the new manager, how has the manager's approach to building this team and their approach on the field relate to what had happened with the previous manager, who they just bounced, and if I remember correctly, was bounced pretty quickly?
Yeah, Mauricio Pochettino is a class act coach. Coached Tottenham Hotspurs for years, which, by the way, I was correct in my prediction. They did stay up. So
Nice.
there we go, you know. But yeah, he also coached at PSG, a French club, and he's top notch. So since he's taken over, I think that his style has really affected the way the roster is built, in the sense that we're really heavy in the center midfield. We got a lot of playmakers in the midfield, which is good. You want speed on the outside and you want playmakers in the middle of the field. And that's what he's done so far. I think what I'm hearing is that he's going to come out in a 3-5-2, which basically means 3 defenders, 5 midfielders, 3 on the outside, 1 on each side, and then 2 up front, which is actually my preferred formation. I
Why?
just I love getting players up into the attack. And the real basis around the 3 in the back is that you can always send one of them up and you're left with 2 center backs in the back to defend, which is the same as a 4-back, because in a 4-back system, you send both of your outside defenders anyways, and you're left with 2 in the back. So it's an offensive forward formation, as well as like controlling the middle of the field. So I think he's done great. We've got some solid center midfielders in the middle of the field as well as on the outside. So I'm excited.
So when you're talking about strategy and you're talking about attacking Paraguay, which is the way I pronounce it, but when you're talking about attacking a team like this, everyone was telling me that Mexico, this game was going to be close. It was going to be a blowout, and Mexico was going to, destroy them. And then all these red cards happened. What are we looking forward to in tonight's game? Are we looking like we're going to handle business? Is this considered a tough game? Is this something where we might be looking at a lot of red cards? Like, talk to me. What should I be looking for in tonight's game?
You should be looking for high flying offense right off the bat. Speed, taking players on 1v1, getting into the box and shooting. We are the better team, hands down,
Okay.
from top to bottom. Now, the last time we played them back in November, we lost to them. And I remember
boy.
that. I remember that thinking, we'll take care of business, no problem. And then I saw the score line and I was shocked. So anything can happen. And this team's got a couple of playmakers. There's one guy in particular named Miguel Almiron. He played for Atlanta United. He went to Newcastle, which is my club. So I have a special affinity for him. And he's back at
I used
Atlanta
to drink
United.
Newcastle's back in the day.
So did I. That was like, I had the jersey with like the logo on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's around. You can find it.
I haven't seen them. I used to love a good brown beer. I love that Newcastle back in my
brown
TV
ale.
days.
Yeah, totally. Yep. I was probably next to you in the aisle of the liquor store getting that. But yeah, so he's a goal scorer. He plays on the outside, but one man show. Is he going to beat, a roster of, 11 playmakers that are playing internationally? Probably not. So I would predict that we're going to come out flying and scoring goals.
Okay. So before we get to the knockout round, there are these games to be played. How does our window look to going deep into this tournament? What has to happen on behalf of the USA for them to really get to a point of respectability? And two, let me reframe that question. When this is all said and done, obviously if we win, yes, we did our thing. What would be the result outside of winning it that we could walk out of this with our head high going, all right, we've made some progress. Here we are.
Yeah. So I actually looked this up to see how far.
Is that a tough question?
No, not at all. I looked it up to see how far we've gone. In 1930, we were third place. We were third place. How many teams were in the tournament? Like 6, 8, I
4?
don't know, but we got third place. So that's the farthest we've ever gone. Now, overall record in 11 World Cups, we are 9 wins, 8 ties, and 20 losses. We have not won
Damn.
that much. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy, right? So more recently, the furthest we've been is the round of 16. We did that in 2014. We did that in 2022.
Because
And
elimination round is 32, yeah?
it is this year. It is this
Okay.
year. This is the first year that they're doing that. So there's a lot of possibilities for third place teams in a group of 4 to make it out. All right. If you keep your goals allowed low and you maybe lose a game and tie a game, or tie 2 games and lose a game, like there is still a chance for you to get out. So our group, I think, is favorable for us. It's really going to be if we show up. We win tonight. Amazing. To be honest, Australia is kind of the only team I'm thinking that could pull like an upset where we don't show up and they just get us on a bad day. That's the one I'm worried about. Turkey as well could do it, but I think by that third game, I think that we're going to be kind of flowing and on our game a little bit more by the third one.
So you think we make it out of the group stage?
I'm going to Coach Alex guarantee we make it out of the group stage.
Now, is this a is it super confident?
I am 110% confident we get out.
Wow. Okay. So out of the group stage, in the round of elimination, how far are we talking about? Because again, you just said we've only won 8 games.
9.
That's distressing. 9. I'm sorry. Oh, I took one away. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. USA. So we've only won 9 games. That's so crazy to hear. How do we go about putting together something? Let's say, is it too much to ask for them to win 4 games? Is that a lot?
No, I don't think it is. I looked up all the different scenarios of like if we finish first, second, or third, and it's nuts, man. It is literally because there's so many teams qualifying to the knockout rounds now. You can't draw it up. Now, I will say that if we finish first or second, I think we win that first elimination game, which would be awesome. I think that would be a success. If you're one and done in the knockout rounds, I'm going to say that's a failure for U.S. soccer. With the talent that we have, we should definitely win at least 1 knockout round game. I'm going to say a success is we win 2 knockout rounds games, and then we get into, I don't even know what it is now, round of 16 again, and we go up against a big dog like England or Brazil or Portugal or something like that. I don't know how the brackets would shake out, but if we go up against a team like that, win or lose, if we compete and it's a close game and we don't get blown out of the water, we good.
I don't like it. Listen, whenever a coach says if we compete, that means we can't win. That means we can't win. Whenever you hear a person whose job it is to instruct you to win, go, if we compete, that's how I know I don't want to see those teams. So go down and list the teams we don't want to see.
Hold on though. I'm gonna
okay.
Last World Cup, we played England. And every media commentator said we were gonna lose 3-0. Oh, 3-0. England it's gonna be easy. It's an easy day. I'll never forget this. I was in Little Italy, 2022. My son was 1 year old. I was with a couple of friends, and we tied 0-0 against England. And it was like we walked out of there like we had just won the World Cup. Like that was big time. That was like a changing of the guard. Like, so I feel that, yeah, if we can hang with the best of the best in the world, Browner, that is something to say for how far U.S. soccer's come.
That's good to hear, man, because again, I'm detached from soccer, but I'm like every other American. When we're representing a flag, I'm putting it on. I'm cheering like I've been cheering from day one, and I just got here yesterday. So when it comes to representing the country, I'm always headfirst into it. But when it comes to trying to get to know the facts, I need them to win so I can get emotionally attached to this. I am always willing to represent the United States of America no matter what the sport is, okay? But I need you to help me be, as Pat Riley says, be an active participant in your rescue. I need you as the U.S. soccer team to win and make it look good. Give it some energy. Make it 3-0, 4-0. Make some flashy goals, because I haven't necessarily been watching since Landon Donovan, I wouldn't say he's a friend of mine, but we are associates. So the idea that That's the last time I was involved. And he went from having from hair to no hair to that ain't even real hair to whoa, is that real hair? So there's a lot of stages of Landon Donovan publicly I have been around for to get to this point and still not really know outside of Christian Pulisic like who these guys are. And I guess that goes back to a bigger question: that is it more World Cup related? Is more grassroots? I guess it's a grassroots question. And as a person who is in the grassroots organization when it comes to football or soccer in this country, what's the problem? Because we have the athletes. There are 5 other sports in this country, maybe 6, being played full tilt in high school and prep schools. Soccer is usually the first sport a lot of kids play in suburban areas. It's usually the first sport a lot of kids play in even middle class areas. So what seems to be the problem as to why we can't continue to funnel those kids as they grow and become better athletes and turn that into actual material soccer players that represent this country and put us in a position as to where we can be looked at like these countries who we don't want to play?
It's really simple. It comes down to money. And Landon Donovan.
Whose money?
The parents that don't have the resources. The way that the league systems are set up these days, it's pay to play. Like if you're good and you got the money, and I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars to play at the elite level, right? If you don't have that, you can't play at that level. And Landon and Tim Howard, his buddy, former epic U.S. goalkeeper, they got a podcast. They talk about it all the time. Both of them are like, our soccer development of our youth in the U.S. is broken. They both say it all the time. Landon has said, it is my pledge to do my best to help fix what is happening in America. The pay-to-play model is capitalistic. We could have the next Messi down the street over here playing pickup soccer, and his parents are, working 3 jobs, and they don't have the resources to put their kid in the highest level of club soccer. And is there scholarships available out there? Yeah, there is to an extent, but that is really the problem, John, is we have not created a pathway for kids who don't have the monetary resources to play at the level they need to get where they want to go. And I'm not going to say this is like complete nepotism, but if you look at the people on the roster, these are people that are coming from families of soccer, right? Tim Weah, his dad was is a Hall of Fame goal scorer, George Weah. You got Berhalter, his dad was the coach twice, right? Are they good players? Yes. I'm not saying that they're not players and they don't deserve it, but these are players that are coming from families with resources and connections to get their kids to where they want to go. Now, Landon's got a great story because he single mom, grew up in Fontana, like great American dream, like making the national team and being an icon. So that's it, man.
See, and I love Landon Donovan and I love his story. And he's one to tell you, we didn't have the money. I was just really, really good.
Yep.
And one of the things that as a young black man who had no idea about soccer, I wouldn't have played it, even if I knew about it. But my question is, when you have the inner city in this country, which is now dominated by blacks and Latinos, I don't understand why the investment in U.S. soccer can't be in these neighborhoods. There's plenty of places where you can knock down a building and make a field. There's plenty of places in very, very poor parts of the country where you can put a soccer ball and just have a kid learn, introduce the game to them. Because again, yes, I can afford for my kids to play soccer, but buddy, I can tell you right now, soccer shots, they stealing money. I've watched them practice. No disrespect to the Soccer Shots organization in any way, shape, or form, because I understand how that works. People, it's licensed coaching. I get it. I hear you. Each practice ain't the same. But, buddy, them folks is stealing money, okay? I got 5 kids, 4 of them actively playing sports in some way, shape, or form. That ain't the play, dog. That ain't the play. And so I guess my greater point is we have so many young people in this country that are looking for something to do, that are looking for a reason to go outside. They're looking for a reason to put the video game down. And I think this is a great opportunity for U.S. Soccer to give them one. Create a bridge. And unless you create that bridge, you'll never have players cross it from poor neighborhoods where they know basketball. I was born with the basketball somewhere around my crib. A football not too far behind that basketball, and a baseball bat somewhere after that. So if you're going to grow this game, and I would hope that they would, because that means the MLS would get better. That means more Americans would actually start watching the game. But you need not a Freddie Adu type, because I don't think Freddie Adu was good. But you need somebody 6'7", 6'8", 220, 230, running like lightning, scoring. You need a Usain Bolt-looking soccer player for it to really change the hearts and minds. You need a Tiger Woods of soccer. You need a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan or a Steph Curry on the soccer field to really change the tide of who plays the game. I'm not saying that white people playing soccer is the reason we're not winning or historically don't win. What I'm saying is we're not going where the athletes are. Like you said, this is nepotism on the roster, which isn't bad because these guys are good. But we shouldn't know who any of these kids are. They should have come from more like Landon Donovan stories, because that's where the success comes from.
Yeah, totally. And it starts at home. It starts with the parents. It starts with, what you're born into. Like, I'm a coach. My 5-year-old is on the field with me all the time. He goes to my indoor games. I can actually hear them in the room next door kicking the ball. Like, no joke. I can hear it.
Good.
I'm like, yeah, they're just knocking the ball around. I got 2 boys. And that's really how it starts. And you just feed that organically. But you're right. The community needs to put more resources into it. And there's a lot of people out there that really want to do that and are doing that. Fun fact, I actually coached soccer shots for a whole year in your exact area. So like, I was over at, Morley Field. I was over at those places, but it's not every day you're going to get an actual like competitive club coach coaching those. So I learned a ton about just managing little kids. And obviously I'm a teacher now. So like, managing kids, like those, I took skills from that. But was everybody there to play soccer? Was every coach a soccer coach? No. But they're outside, and it is a start. It is a start. But I hear you on that note. There was plenty of times I showed up to fields and parents are like, do you know where the other coach is at? And it's like Saturday morning at like 8:30. And I'm like, I don't know. Sorry. But yeah, I hear you.
The bill for soccer shots is,
I'm sure it's gone up. I'm sure it's gone up too.
Put it like that. There needs to be, but this is not, and I don't want to sound like I'm picking on soccer. This is a problem with youth sports in America in general.
Yes.
With the exception of football, like actual like pigskin football. Basketball, AAU it's thievery. Soccer shots, no offense, thievery. Travel baseball, they should use a mask and gun. Like, we don't have development in this country because the adults are using it as a way to fund their lifestyle. And that's not the way this country is going to get better at anything, man. It's really not. So that's the soapbox thing. But okay,
yeah, totally.
Give me a score.
As much as I would
at the end of tonight, when I'm having a drink and I'm going, man, should I go live right now? What will the score be?
I think it's going to be 2-1 USA. I would love for it to be 3-0. I would love for it to be 4. I would love for a statement win tonight. And maybe we do. But it's my scarred USA fanship of the World Cup. And I'm not sure that we're going to come out and we're going to execute, because in our recent friendlies, we've done well. We've competed. We had a shootout with Senegal. We competed against Germany.
And we lost
2-1. Guy scored a banger though. I don't know if you saw that, but if you want to see a sick goal, go look that goal up from Anthony Robinson against Germany. But I think it's going to be 2-1. I think the key to tonight is really going to be Pulisic and Flo Balogun. If one guy can get an assist and one guy can get a goal, I think we're good. But I don't want it to be each other on the same play, because that only means one goal. I want Pulisic to an assist to another guy, and I want Balogun to score on his own. And I think if that happens, I think our defense is too stout to give up anything really against Paraguay. But I don't know. I think they slip one in and we win 2-1.
If what's on the screen right now happens, what went wrong?
I'll meet you in the podcast tonight if that happens.
Look at Steve Coast. Look at this. What are you
Oh
guys doing?
man, what is going on
What's
here?
happening here?
They must have vacationed there and it's beautiful there and they fell in love with the people in the country. So
Oh my God. Okay. Well, we got a 2-0, a 2-1, and then we got some Paraguayers in here. I don't know what they call them, but B. Thompson said it's not looking good, coach. Wow. Oh no.
B Top, real? From you?
1-1. Oh my
man.
God. All right, listen. It's their opinion. Oh, shout out to the chat pack for coming in with scores.
Yeah, chat pack. I like that, dude. The chat pack.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a shirt today. Chat pack. I gotta figure out how it's gonna look.
I like that. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. I want to give a little shout out. A couple of my homies are going to the game today up at SoFi. The Baker family, Scott, Grace, Meg, Matt. I better see you guys on the jumbo. And funny thing is, they actually could only get tickets in the Paraguayan supporter section. So
hey man, get in where you fit in, bro. Get in where you fit in.
Get whatever you can get. They said that whatever we can get, and that's what they got. So they're going.
How much were their tickets? Because that's been the topic of conversation as well.
I believe he said they were $1,100 each.
Have the time of your life in that section, brother.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Go crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Always love coming on here, dude.
Listen, if it's 3-1 Paraguay, I'll see you tonight.
Email me the link, but that ain't happening.
All right.
Take it easy.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. That's Coach Alex, y'all. That's Coach Alex. Shout out to him for coming on the show and spread some soccer wisdom, man. That's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, I hope it's not 3-1 Paraguay. I really don't. I can't take that. That would take the wind out of my sails for this if that were to truly happen. So I hope y'all are wrong. B. Thompson said, I'm not a Team USA fan. Come on, dog. What you mean? Oh my goodness. All right, let's holler at some people let's do some chatting. Let's talk to the chat pack. All right, let me see who else we got here. Biggie in the building. What up, dog? Happy Friday, man. Buenos dias as always. Happy Friday. Raiders versus everybody. The Rigby family, as always, shout out to JBP. What else we got here? Listen, curve your hat, bro. No, bro. I'm that guy. I'm not a curve hat guy. Nah, fam. I saw you earlier, and I was going to speak to this, but I didn't have time because I was doing business with Coach Alex. But no, I'm not a curved hat person, bro. Unless the hat comes already curved, it's not. You haven't noticed this in most of my hats. This hat is like 7 years old. That's as much curve you're going to get. These particular hats come curved. That's as much as you're going to get. This hat is infamous. This hat is infamous. And that's as curved as you're going to get, buddy. Nah. Appreciate you, though. Let me see. Yo, I did see this. So Tito says, did y'all see the Coors Light Talk Boy canister they launched at the World Cup? Yo, that thing is tall as me, bruh. I'm going to get one. And drink that thing. What else we got here? America. Crystal Davis. There's no fields because we don't like soccer here. I mean, that's kind of been the turnout. There you go. Way to drop back in. USA. Okay, Michael Pannon says, wasn't nothing USA. Okay, let's talk about the Spurs thing. Let's talk about the Spurs situation. Where is it? Where did I put it? Nope. Let's talk about this. So, because the Spurs have choked away one of the most massive leads we've ever seen in the history of professional basketball and in the finals ever, there has now been, and I think a lot of this is because they're playing the Knicks. So throughout the playoffs, all we've been saying is Wemby's getting hammered. And now because they're playing the Knicks, and now the media has turned on them. If you haven't noticed, the media turned on the Spurs very quickly. Very, very quickly. And now there is this whiff of people saying Victor Wembanyama's a dirty player. This is coming from a fan base that either threw a bottle or an egg at him. I don't know which one it was, but I saw that something was thrown at him as the team was going to their hotel after losing the game. Let me just say this about Knicks fans, because I love the New York fan base. I think they're out of their fucking minds, but I think that's awesome because that's what the sport allows us to do. But you can cross the line. If you go to the visiting team's hotel after you just won the greatest game in NBA Finals history to throw something at the other team's best player, buddy, you're a dirtbag. You're a loser of loser proportion. I can't even fathom. If you went out of your way to go shopping for eggs, let's say it was an egg, because if it was a bottle, that's way more serious, way more dangerous. So let's say it was an egg. So you had to go either to a store or leave your home, leave the safety of your home, travel to the opposing team's hotel. You had to find out where it was, get your egg, take your egg after the game where the entire city is celebrating. Strangers are hugging each other. Men are in bars, chest to chest, belly to belly, arms around, beer everywhere. But you, person, took an egg from your home, found out where the road team was staying, traveled to that place, waited to throw an egg at the opposing team's star player. What the hell's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, man? Like these are the type of people that we need to just vanquish, period. That's not funny. It's not fun, and it takes away from your night. So now you hit Victor Wembanyama with an egg. Now what? So what? You're now going to jail too, buddy. You're going to jail when all you had to do was go to your local bar and celebrate with the rest of the people, screaming that the Knicks won. Like, you are the person who threw that. You're turning people into these type of people. Crystal Davis says, I want the Spurs to win just so that the Knicks fans have to suffer. They're all jerks. Yeah, when it comes out like that, yeah, they look like jerks. And man, would it hurt if they lost up 3-1. Man, wouldn't that hurt worse? I don't think it's going to happen. But if it did happen, I wouldn't be shocked. The Spurs have led in double digits by every game. They were up by 21 in the Garden. They won the other game in the Garden where it was the greatest atmosphere I've ever seen to start a basketball game. They threw away game 3. What if they stopped throwing the game away? The Spurs have dominated the Knicks for almost every quarter of basketball until the fourth quarter. What's to say they stop throwing the game away? They could come back. I don't think they will, but they could. I said the Knicks would win game 4. I didn't think they would win game 4 in that fashion. I thought the Knicks would be up 29. But nonetheless, I got it correct. But the idea to now be painting the picture as Victor Wembanyama to be dirty all of a sudden is hilarious when you watch the way he's defended. So is Jose Alvarado dirty for face guarding him and grabbing one of his legs with both arms and trying to lift him off the ground? Is that not dirty? Is it not dirty to hold both the guy's arms while he's trying to jump for a rebound? Is it not dirty the low blows this guy's received throughout the playoffs? So to say that he's dirty would also show me that you have no idea what it's like to be on a court when another adult man is using all his physical will to stop you from doing something. Victor Wembanyama is younger than every player on the Knicks that's getting quality playing time. Mitchell Robinson is using all his man strength. Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, they're using all of their man strength to stop Victor Wembanyama from getting to the basket. The buddy frustrated. That's a lot of pushing. That's a lot of shoving. That's a lot of holding. Sometimes you got to knock some of these motherfuckers out, man. Sorry. Sometimes you got a two-piece and a biscuit somebody. And if you think the NBA finna allow him to be ejected or suspended for a game for flagrant fouls, you smoking the ooh-wee. Okay. If you think he's gonna get another technical that would then allow him to be suspended for a game, buddy, you smoking the ooh-wee. Are you out of your mind? Dennis Rodman was borderline dirty. Draymond Green is dirty. Dylan Brooks is dirty. Those are dirty basketball players. Victor Wembanyama is out there fighting for his life. I wish they would play straight up. I really do. I wish that they would play straight up. I wish they would play freedom of movement. The Knicks wouldn't have a chance. But if you think the NBA about to suspend this man for knocking folks off of him, buddy, you off the meth. You are on the rock, buddy. All the drugs. You are on a very strong cocktail of crack, meth, and whatever opioids. You got them all mixed up. You crazy. You out of your goddamn mind if you think the NBA finna suspend him. They just had the highest rated NBA Finals game in the history. They just had it. In the game, he got a flagrant foul. But he get a flagrant foul in this game, they're going to rescind that flagrant so fast. He going to have to blatantly punch somebody square in the face. And they still might say it was an accident. That is Wemby dirty is such a silly conversation that you could only have against Knicks fans. And because most of them work in the media. Most of the people you see on TV arguing about, is he a dirty player? Are these dirty plays? They work in the media. They're Knicks fans. Because if you've been watching the playoffs, this dude is getting mauled. The dude is getting mauled. And he never complains to the referees. Not ever. You never see, and maybe this is because he's young, you never see the NBA going to a timeout and the broadcast is going da, 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 or whatever music they play. And then all of a sudden you see Victor Wembanyama talking to a referee. You never, ever see that. You never see that. Ever. But you see Jalen Brunson doing it. You see Josh Hart doing it. You see Mike Brown doing it. I don't know why you don't see Miss Johnson doing it. So no, he's not dirty. I'm going to answer a basketball question I saw here. Okay, let's. Steve Coe says Wemby is not a dirty player. What a dirty player looks like is Draymond Green. Absolutely. By the way, there was a funny exchange on ESPN Inside the NBA when they keep putting Draymond Green on the panel like he's good for it or something. And he's apologizing to Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson's like, bro, I don't give a fuck about what you're talking about. Please stop talking to me. Ask me a question so I can get out of here. Go look at that. Go look at that conversation that they were having post-game. And Jalen Brunson is sitting there after winning the greatest game he's ever seen. And Draymond Green's like, man, I owe you an apology. And he's like, okay. All right. Let me see. Ooh wee, yeah, you smoking that if you think they finna suspend Victor Wembanyama. Y'all tripping. You already know. What I know about that Raiders say, what you know about that ooh wee. Boy, I used to sell that ooh wee. What you talking about? Now, this is the question I got, and I want to. Andre Prado 619 says, do we believe Rich Paul that 10 to 12 teams want LeBron James? Hell no. Hell no. Well, okay, correction. Do the Charlotte Hornets would like to have LeBron James? Absolutely. Would the Brooklyn Nets love to have LeBron James? Absolutely. Would the Sacramento Kings love to have LeBron James? Absolutely. See what I'm doing here? Would the New Orleans Pelicans love to have LeBron James? Absolutely. Would the Los Angeles Lakers like to have LeBron James? Doesn't look like it. See what's happening here? Would the San Antonio Spurs like to have LeBron James? No. Would the Oklahoma City Thunder like to have LeBron James? No. Who does LeBron want to play for? That's two teams. The one he's on, I would say three. The one he's on, Cleveland, which I also think that's such a heavy lift and so many things have to happen for that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. Or Golden State, which they are already clearing the way. This is why Steve Kerr came back. I think the Golden State Warriors are going to cook up a plan to trade for Anthony Davis and get LeBron to come. And you say, what the hell am I talking about? Anthony Davis has become a roaming nomad that no one wants because he gets too hurt, regardless of how good he is. I think there's only like three people in the league who could defend Wemby. AD's one of them. Jokic is the other one, but only because Jokic can score on him. Jokic can score so much. AD's the only other guy in the league that could probably give Wemby a hard time without going goon on him. So I honestly believe the Golden State Warriors are going to contact the Washington Wizards for a trade involving Jimmy Butler, his contract, most importantly, and I think it's the 11th pick the Warriors have. They're going to package those two things, trade those things to Washington because Washington wants those things. They want a guy like Jimmy Butler to settle that young roster. They'll have the number one pick coming in. They'll now have the 11th pick via that trade. And then you get a guy like Jimmy Butler who can help settle that locker room and show some of these guys how to be professional. So then you have Trae Young, you have AJ DeBonza, a returning Jimmy Butler, Alex Sarr. You have a good young team with some veteran leadership on it that could really cause some bumps in the road in the Eastern Conference. And by doing that, as the Golden State Warriors, you get to keep Steph Curry, you keep Draymond. You bring in Anthony Davis, who would be a really, really good Swiss Army knife to go along with this roster. In addition, you now entice LeBron James to look at this roster of 45. I think it's from LA. I think it's an hour flight in a jet from Los Angeles to San Francisco, and Bron got that money. Bron can do that. I think it comes down to two teams at this point. I think it comes down to Los Angeles and it comes down to San Francisco. It's those two. It's one of those two. I think he stays where he's at, or he goes to San Francisco. But that heavily relies on what happens with Anthony Davis. If the Golden State Warriors draft this kid from Michigan, this 7'3" kid, LeBron's not going. If they package that, get AD, and now you have LeBron, AD, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry. That's must-see television. That is must-see television. It is entertainment at the end of the day. Crystal Davis, he's not going to Houston. AD can when if. And that's the thing with AD. You're trading for an if. But Jimmy Butler is a walking if at this point. So I would rather have a taller if than a smaller if. But I don't think he's going to Houston. All right, let's get everybody out of here today. Let's let everybody get today Friday, get to where you need to go for this USA Paraguay. The USA versus Paraguay. Padres. Orioles. Griffin Cannon, who hasn't been too bad the last couple of outings, but he's got an 0-4 record with a 6.34 ERA. 33 strikeouts, 17 walks. He's given up 6 home runs against something named Shane Bass, who's 3-6 with a 4 ERA too. So I don't know. But good luck to him. Yeah, it's hard to talk about it's hard. There's a lot of moving parts because the Padres didn't play yesterday, and in addition to what we got going on with Wemby, even what we got going on with the World Cup, there's a lot of moving parts, which I love. This is the summer of the World Cup. I love it as another thing to add to the baseball calendar. Where is your World Cup event, JV? It'll be in Liberty Station at the start of the knockout rounds. I think the first date is the 19th. Hold on. Let me double check. It's not in this phone. The date is the 19th. So I will give y'all all the information y'all need. I want all y'all to come down. We'll have our own little section. We'll have the chat pack section. Lit. Why do I still have Is Wemby Dirty up there? My bad. So yeah, that's the situation. Good luck to the Padres. I'll come back to y'all. I'll probably do a podcast on Saturday after the Spurs Knicks game because I've been doing those, and I should probably be telling people I'm doing those. So I'll probably do that. Depending on how this World Cup game goes, I might come back and do that. We'll see. We'll see. I'll be back on Monday, if not sooner. Y'all take care. Love y'all. Shout out to the chat pack till Monday, man. Peace.